Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I got a different project of sorts. I wasn't going to film it, I was just going to go ahead and knock it out, but I figured, well, you know, something different. It works for Gary over there at Old Iron Machine Works. He does a lot of restoration and refurbishing of cool old tools and machines. So that's what we're going to do on this old vise right here. This is kind of a I don't know, a horse trading job, should I say. My electrician that did the wiring for the place dropped this off a couple days ago. He was down in Daytona Beach, Florida for Bike Week, and he was hitting up the pawn shops, and he found this vise. He paid 30 bucks for it. This is a buffalo vise. I'll move the camera in here in a little second here so you can see it better. So it's got the word buffalo cast into the side of the body. This particular model is made in the USA from the research I've done. Then they went to a Taiwanese manufacturer somewhere in the 70s and 80s, and it still made this same vise, but just the buffalo name wasn't in the cast. And the only thing you had was a sticker on it, and then you still have got the number 4 or the number 6, which designates, I think, the width of the jaws, or the length of the jaw, should I say. So what my electrician wants me to do is break this down. You know, we'll knock all the big chunks of rust and dirt and grime off of it with the wire wheel, and we'll put it in the blast cabinet and blast her up. Get her down to bare metal. He is going to paint it, so don't really have to put it back together, but we are going to make some new jaws for him. I figure that's cool. We'll get the shaper fired up and we'll make some jaws and do some cross hatching on the shaper. So not much to it, but hopefully it'll be a fun little project and you know, a video for you guys to enjoy. Hey, and by the way, we're getting close to 2,500. I'm about 200 subscribers away. So smash that subscribe button, help me out, because once we get to 2,500, well, one, it's obviously an awesome mile mark for me to reach, and two, I've got a killer prize package to give away, so it's going to be a great draw. So do me a favor, hit that button, and well, the reason why I got this apart is this: I have been having it sit up on its side like this, and I've been soaking the screws with PB Blaster for like the last 3 days. So hopefully they'll come out. They won't be a pain in the butt and fight me. All we'll do is we'll take this over to the welding table and start cleaning her up. What do you say, guys? See if we can get this screw out. It's being held in by this pin, and then you got this spring keeping tension on it. I'm going to try to grab it with these vampire pliers. If you noticed, the ends are radiused. See if we can get that pressure off that pin and she should come out. Like a glove. Using one of these impact screwdrivers. Finally got one loose. Had to put some heat on it. See, this other one's gonna come off. Come on, baby. Uh-oh, there we go, maybe. Yep. I don't know if the audio is picking it up, but it's pouring outside right now. Oh, thought she was coming. There we go. Thank goodness. No, they're hot. Yep. All right, one off. So I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick it up or not, but nice rain shower in the middle of the afternoon. Thunder in the background if you can hear it. This is like, let's see, I'm filming this on Sunday and it's been doing this since like Thursday. We get an afternoon shower. This has been a fairly decent one before. We've had, you know, an inch like in 20 minutes, so those downpours don't do us any good, obviously. The ground can't soak all that water up. Plus it just kind of washes out my shop too, till all this dirt that we moved around to form this pad finally settles and I get grass growing good. I figured I'd give you a quick look. All right, all set up here outside to keep all the grime and dirt and old paint from getting, you know, strewn all over the shop. Why clean up twice? So just gonna do it out here. But the rains are coming, so let's get busy here. Well, I got the parts all cleaned up, all the major paint and dirt and grime knocked off. Just in time though, it's starting to rumble outside, so I'm gonna get that afternoon shower. Did find a crack here. Let me get in the light so hopefully you guys can see that. I mean, looking at this face is pretty thin. So it probably started here and then worked its way down. I don't think it's worth repairing because Jim, the electrician, he's just going to stick this on the back of his work truck on the bumper. So it'll be alright. So let's get on over to the blast cabinet and fire it up and get this thing cleaned up. Okay, so what we're looking at is my Harbor Freight blast cabinet. I have done the upgrades that most of the YouTube videos show on doing various upgrades on this cabinet. I have done. I'll just go over them real quick so it makes this cabinet go from okay to you know, a really decent cabinet for the money. Start off with, I added a foot pedal so that way, you know, your hand doesn't get tired using the trigger for extended periods. And I also upgraded the gun. You know, the gun is marginal that comes with this, so I upgraded to a nice scat gun, so that works out real well. So basically what I did is I plumbed it into the cabinet here. I also, let me get a light just in case we need it. If you can see down here. So down here at the bottom, I have got it hooked up so I can pick up the media from the hopper down here below. I don't have that feed tube that was inside it. And let me open it up. So let me get some more light. Let me turn the light on. That's another upgrade. So no longer had the feed tube to deal with that's in the way. So as the media goes down to the bottom, it just gets pulled back up. You know, it comes in through here. This is my air fitting. I just drilled a hole with rubber grommet and she goes in to feed the gun. So that's another upgrade. If you look at the actual grate itself, I shrunk the grate so it sits lower in the cabinet, so that way you can get larger items in here. That's a bonus. And looking at the back, hopefully I won't wash out, but got rid of the crappy light that they provide with you, and then I put a floodlight there in the corner. It works out real well. Don't really have many shadows. I could add another light over to this corner if need be, but you know, I'm only blasting every so often. Another upgrade I did was, if you look, there's a baffle for the exit for the air. So I am running a vacuum cleaner right now. I've got the Cyclone, but I've got to make an adapter so she'll work. But so when you got your vacuum on, and you know, it's pulling out all that cloudiness, and you know, your media is flying around and the dirt and debris. With that baffle there, it helps prevent you losing a lot of the media. So those are the upgrades I did on this. It works real well. Pretty pleased with the cabinet. Oh, I forgot one last thing. Also, I turned the bolts around because, you know, once your glass gets etched, then you need to change it out. But the problem is, you know, originally the way the cabinet's designed, you know, these bolts go through there, and you're trying to reach your hand all the way around here with the wrench, and you're trying to reach all the way over to get these with screwdriver. So I was like, yeah, screw that. So what I did is I ran them up from the bottom. There's a nut under it holding them. So all I've got to do is bust off those wing nuts, take this frame off, you know, remove the glass, go to the hardware store, get, you know, a new one for like $3, pop it in, and you're ready to go. So quick and easy. And added an outlet on the side for the vacuum cleaner, and also the switch for the light right there. So those are the upgrades I've done to it. I'm going to go ahead and throw the parts in here and sandblast them. There's no real good place for you to set the camera up for you guys to watch, so I'll just show you when I come back. Okay, just wrapped up. Let me see if I can do this a little bit handheld. Came out pretty good. If you notice, I changed the media. I had 70 grit aluminum oxide, and I drained that out and put in the glass bead. Let's see if I can get it out. Alrighty, finished up with the blasting. Got everything cleaned up over here. You can see those two pieces and the movable jaw. So now what we got to do is make a set of replaceable or removable jaws, since these are pretty rough. Hopefully you can see the kind of quick sketch I made. So they're roughly about 4 inches, 450 thousandths, or 11.3 centimeters. And they're about 900 tall, or 2.250 centimeters. And thickness is about 3/8 of an inch, 0.375, or 9.5 millimeters. Now, anything close to this is fine. I mean, we don't have to you know, split hairs here. We're not making nuclear subparts here. So what I'm gonna do, I guess, is just go, you know, 4.5 and 1 inch, since that's a nice nominal size. I've got this piece of probably just A36. It's 1 inch thick, so it works out perfect. So what I'll do is I'll cut out 2 of these, and then we'll get over to the shaper, and well, I'll probably just take them over to the mill, maybe get them to size. I don't know, or I may put them in the shaper and get them to size. I'm not sure yet, we'll see. And then we'll you know, do some cross hatching on it. The holes are about 11/32 in diameter to hold a 5/16 screw. They're not asymmetrical. So I was checking. So we'll have to basically do is, you know, drill them per each jaw. Can't just go ahead and pop 4 holes and think they're going to line up, because they're not going to. So I'm going to go over to the bandsaw and just knock this thing out so we can have us 2 blanks to start with, and then I'll bring you guys back. So I got you guys set up over here at the mill. We're going to go ahead and true these jaws up and get them square. This is just a new 2 inch 4 carbide insert face mill, just an import. Haven't used it yet. We'll give it a try. Let's see how she holds up. Hopefully all the inserts are at the same height. It's kind of hit or miss with this import tool, and you know what I mean. Let me fire the mill up here. I already set my depth of cut. We don't have too much take off. I'm going to do about 15th thou. Clean this up, we'll flip it over, and that'll leave me, I don't know, maybe about 15 or another 20th thou on the other side. See how she likes it. Well, the surface finish isn't that great with this thing. I went back and made a skim pass, tried to clean it up. It was worse than this. So it doesn't look too bad here, but when the, you know, that tooth first enters, you can see how she really chomping in, and then it gets better here throughout the cut. So, oh well, what do you expect from, I guess, a $30 face mill? Let me flip her over and we'll figure out how much we got to take off total. Well, I decided to switch up and go to a fly cutter. Even with light passes, still leaving a nasty surface finish. And it may just be the cheap inserts, but this looks a lot better. So I'm going to run with the fly cutter. And this is compliments of Michael Hale. I appreciate it, Michael. This is his maiden voyage. He made this fly cutter for me and gave it to me a while back, but I haven't had a chance to use it. Alright, I'm at 377. We're shooting for 375. I'm not going to chase that tooth thou. It's close enough for these jaws. If I can get in there, surface finish looks a lot better with that fly cutter. So, happy with that. I'm going to get the other one knocked out. Just finished grinding up a high-speed steel bit. Got you over here at the microscope. So hopefully this will pick up fairly well. This is just a cheap Chinese high-speed steel, so it ain't the greatest. You can see the discoloration from grinding it. There's my fishtail. So pretty much on the angle, and I went ahead and blunted the point so she won't dig in. So a little bit of back relief on both sides. Alright, let me go get a piece of scrap and test her out and see what we need to do for you know, our depth and step over. But hopefully that'll work. So just ran a pass over it. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm having to throw some extra light in there. Let me move the camera around a little bit. But I think she came out pretty good. I did a couple different passes with test piece. And this is what I finally came out to. The numbers, it looked like I was going to be having some good serrations. So I'm doing 20 thou depth of cut with 110 thou step over. So let me get the vise turned around to the other 45 degrees and I'll get you some more action. Well, for all my new viewers, I guess to introduce you to my shaper. This is a 16-inch G&E industrial universal shaper. If you can see that or not. So the universal means that the table rotates and the top of it also tilts. This was made in 1942. And I was in the process of cleaning her up and getting a new paint on her. But then I moved. So eventually we'll get her cleaned up. Hopefully you guys can see that. There's the first set of lines. Let me move so it's not getting blown out there. They came out pretty good. I had to go back and sharpen that point, the dull point, which I thought would work better. Did not. It was leaving some ugly lines. So the sharp point's a little bit better. So we're gonna go with that. Let me move her over and I'll get you some more shaper action. All right, feeds engaged, here we go. 110 thou step over. See if I can get you in handheld. So there you go, one cut, came out looking nice. I'm glad I did some test runs. Otherwise I wouldn't have liked it and I'd hate to have to do this over again. So let me just get the other one knocked out and I'll be back. Well, there you go, all wrapped up. I think they came out pretty good. I'm happy with them, especially for what Jim is going to use these for. Ideally, you know, you'd want to make this out of tool steel and then, you know, heat treat it, but this mild steel will work just fine for him. Here's a good shot of the serrations. This is kind of my test piece, different depths and different step overs. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go over to the mill, you know, punch a couple holes, countersink them. You know, don't want to see me do that, so I'll be back. Well, there you go, all done and assembled. I think Jim's gonna be happy with it. Jaws came out nice. I went ahead and gun blued them off camera and put a little oil on them. I mean, the vise is already starting to flash rust, so he needs to come hurry up and pick it up and get some paint on her. So it should be good. And she's still a little stiff. I put a little lube on the lead screw here, and then I also put anti-seize on everything that had threads, so the next guy that has to refurbish this thing won't have to fight it. But as you can see, hopefully the camera's picking her up. She looks good. I think he'll be happy with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little refurbish. I know it's not a Pulitzer Prize winning video, but I figured I'd just go ahead and film it for you anyway. Some of you guys might enjoy it. Something different. Hopefully I did Gary Brown proud over there on the West Coast. Give me a thumbs up there, Gary, if you appreciate my little attempt to refurbishing. I know you're a lot better at it than I am. But anyways, it is what it is. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.